Okay, now this here is a lot tougher, okay, this thing here. So let's find the three side lengths and the three angle measurements of the triangle. So I go sides, angles. You've got to find, there's three answers for each one. Now, so we go hypotenuse. Now, I don't see the theta symbol. Instead, I see inside we have 28 degrees. So you go opposite that, and then adjacent, and I know that's 15. Now, that angle that you have in there, 28 degrees, you need to write that down, okay? That's called your reference angle. Okay. Now, it's very easy to find the angles. You know that's 90 degrees. And you know inside you have 28 degrees. So to find your others, you should take 180, because any triangle has 180 degrees in it. Doesn't matter how it looks, it has 180 degrees, total degrees. The three angles add up to 180. So minus 90 minus 28. Okay, so 180 minus 90 minus 28 is 62. Okay, easy enough on the angles. Now the sides are what's confusing. Now look outside your triangle. The only number I have outside is 15. What two sides don't I know? Well, the 15 was for A, so that means I don't know H and O. So I put H and O. But I'm going to pair those with the A, okay? Because I know I have a number for A. It's the only one I have a number for. And we use ratios to find it, okay? Now, H and A. Which one of these words has H and A? Well, it's not that. It's that one, okay? H and A. Okay? So, cosine, you write cos, parentheses, and then you need to put that 28 in there. And that always goes over 1 in the denominator. Now the cosine is equal to A on top of H. So I put A and H. And then I look up here. A has a 15 with it outside. So I scribble that out and put 15. But H doesn't have any number outside with it. So I scribble that out and put X. And then I multiply and divide. So here's my X. So I want to multiply these two. That's 15. Write 15 down and underline it. And you're going to divide 15 by the cosine of 28. Calculator does it. It needs to be divided 15 by cos 28. 16.99, pretty much 17. Now the other side, don't use Pythagorean either on this. O and A, well that's not O and A, that's not O and A. Right here, tangent, okay? So tan. And then in parentheses, you have to put that reference angle, 28 over 1, and then tangents over A. So I scribble, so O has no number outside with it, so that's our X. And A has the 15 outside with it, okay? So here's my X, so I'm going to multiply this way. I'm going to take tan 28, and it's these buttons here, okay? Tan 28 times 1, or times 15, I'm sorry. 7.98, write it down, underline it, and then there's a 1 to divide by, but it's still 7.98. Okay, mission accomplished. Okay, my next problem. I'm finding the sides and the angles. Okay. Okay, so hypotenuse, that's got an 8 outside with it. And then here's 30 degrees. Instead of the theta sign, it's 30. Okay. So that's the opposite, and that's the adjacent. Okay. Okay, so the angles. I know I have a 90 degrees. They all have 90. And then they have a 30. Then 180 minus 90 minus 30 is 60 degrees. And the one side I know is 8. Look outside for the sides. It's 8. 8 units long. Okay, so H has a number with it, so I don't need to find that. A has no number outside, and neither does O. So I pair that up with the H, and then I set up my ratios. So A and H wouldn't be sine, it'd be cosine again. And by the way, 30 degrees is your reference angle. Whenever you do the O, you know your reference angle, okay? So A and H, cosine of 30 degrees over 1, and then it's the A on top of the H. So A has no number with it, so that's going to be my X, and H has an 8 outside with it. So here's my X, so I'm going to multiply cos 30 times 8, and then write that down, 6.93 divided by 1, that's 6.93. O and H, well, O and H would be sine of the angle I reference, which is 30 over 1. And O goes on top of H on sine, look here. Okay, so O, I do not have a number with my O, so that's X, and H I have an 8 outside with. Okay, here's X, so I take sine 30 times 8. Close the parentheses after you hit sine, times 8. And that's 4. And 4 divided by 1 is 4. Okay, next the sides and the angles. Okay, the side, okay, so hypotenuse, 54 is my reference, okay? So across from that is your opposite and then your adjacent. So my angles, I have 90 degrees, I have 54 degrees inside. And then the other inside angle I don't know. So I take 180 minus 90 minus 54. It's 46. Okay, and then the sides, you look outside, I only see 8.5. Okay. So O has a number already with it. H does not, and A does not. Okay. So I team that up with the O because I have a number for that. Okay, so H and O is sine of the reference angle, 54, over 1, and then it's O over H. Has to be arranged like that. So O is 8.5, and H I have no number with it, so that's my X. So I multiply this way. That's 8.5. Now underline it and divide by sine 54. So 8.5 divided by sine 54 is 10.51. And then A and O is the tangent of the reference angle. We're always using that for our reference. Then O and A. So O has 8.5 with it. And A has no number, so it's X. So 1 times 8.5 is 8.5. Underline that and put tan 54 because it has to be divided in that order. Tan 54, close it, and 6.18. Okay, my next one. Sometimes I have to squeeze in that 17 degrees, okay? And the right angle's here. Sorry, I forgot to write it. Okay, so sides, angles. Okay, angles. I have 90, 17, and 180 minus 90 minus 17, 73. Okay, but okay. So, hypotenuse reference is 17 degrees, and that's your opposite, and then A. Okay, so I have a number outside with A, but not with O and not with H. I pair each one with the A. They make a team. Because if one doesn't have it, the other one will. Okay, O and A, that would be tangent of the reference angle 17 over 1. And the O goes over the A. So O I don't have anything for, so it's X. And A, I've got 14. So here's my X, so I take tan 17 times 14. 4.28 divided by 1 is 4.28, because we know we have a 14 and a 4.28 now. H and A is cosine of 17 degrees. The reference angle always goes in the parentheses after the cosine or tan. Okay, and then A over H. So A has a 14 with it, and H has an X. Okay, so 1 times 14 is 14. I underline it and divide it by cos 17. Okay, 14.64. Okay, you got 2 to practice on your own.